guys, this is Kayla.
And this is Becky, and we're with a couple of these read.
Yes, and we are late this month, but we are doing our predictions, both for Book of the Month and Aardvark, because we don't have time to make two prediction videos.
No, we do not. So, Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. I love Emily Henry. I have all of her books, and I just think they're spectacular. And this particular one is says Alice Scott is an eternal optimist. And you know, that kind of fits with me. I've been accused of being an optimist.
Yes.
Still dreaming of her big writing break, and I love books about authors. Hayden Anderson is a Pulitzer Prize-winning human thundercloud. What in the world does that mean? Come on. And they're both on a balmy little crescent island. Well, who doesn't like to be on the beach, you know? And they're writing. And so anything by Emily Henry, I'm definitely going to get. So that, hopefully, at least one of them, and I know Book of the Month has carried her before, so hopefully
and I think it's like the whole rivals to lover. Yeah.
All right.
Next up, and we did a read-along of the first one, The Tainted Cup. So
Loved
a drop of corruption by Robert Jackson Bennet. This is our prediction for Aardvark. Aardvark does not always carry their sequels.
No.
But I am hoping they carry this one. I think The Tainted Cup did really, really well. And it was a unique enough fantasy world that I hope I can, match it with this beautiful sequel, A Drop of Corruption. So eccentric detective Anna Dolabra matches wits with a seemingly omniscient adversary in this brilliant fantasy mystery from the author of The Tainted Cup. One of my favorite things about The Tainted Cup is that it was that combination of mystery and fantasy.
Yes.
And the fact that they're bringing back those main characters for us to love and adore makes me so happy.
Yes.
So I am hoping this is as good as the first one. I cannot wait to read it. Please, Aardvark, carry this book for me.
I can't say her name.
Jimenez, book. She won the top book of the month.
Yes.
Last year.
She was
and
book of the year. Yeah.
All of her romances are so well written, and they are so much more than just a romance. And that's what I love about her. So Say You'll Remember Me. There's no such thing as a perfect guy, but Xavier Rush comes disastrously close. A gorgeous veterinarian giving Greek god vibes, all while cuddling a tiny kitten. Immediate yes. That is until Xavier opens his mouth and proves that even sculpted gods can say the absolute wrong thing. Like really wrong. Of course, there's nothing Samantha loves more than proving a jerk wrong, unless of course he can admit he made a mistake. But after one incredible and seemingly endless date, Samantha is forced to admit the truth, that her family is in crisis and any kind of relationship would be impossible. Samantha begs Xavier to forget her, to remember their night together as a perfect moment, as crushing as that may be. Only no amount of distance or time is enough to forget what's between them. And the only thing better than one single perfect memory is to make a life and even a love worth remembering. Oh God, that synopsis.
Yeah.
It gets to your heartstrings, and that is why we love Abby Jimenez, and we will always hope the Book of the Month picks up every single one of her books, unless Aardvark wants to get them. We just need the hardcovers. That's all we want.
That's right.
Yes.
And then we have the Griffin Sisters, Greatest Hits by Jennifer
Weiner.
Casey and Zoe Grossberg were thrust into the spotlight as the Griffin Sisters. They were a pop duo, and they skyrocketed to the top on MTV, SNL, cover of Rolling Stones, all of these things. And then, the fame was great and wonderful, and then they had a bad year and things broke apart. And now, 2 decades later, the sisters are not together, and they're, whether professionally or personally. And so Zoe is now a suburban mom, and her daughter Cherry, she has warned her, you do not want to be in the spotlight. Bad things happen when you're the star of the show. But Casey's just kind of disappeared from public life, and when Cherry begins unearthing the truth behind what really happened in this big breakup between the sisters, secrets come are unearthed and they come about. And then they have some choices to make. So it's kind of like family gone awry and family coming back together.
It sounds like, what was it? The novel Honey that came out recently sort of meets, what's her face in The Six? You know what I'm talking about?
Daisy
Jones and The Six. And I have a weak spot for books about the musical genre, musical life in the music industry. And I think it's because it's something I really wanted as a child, but the more I find out about it as an adult, I'm like, oh my God, thank God my mom never took me to those auditions. Like, thank God I'm not part of that. In the industry.
That's a sad thing.
Terrible. So this next one, Becky, I know you just introduced one, but this one I picked for
by Emilia Hart. I loved Wayward that she wrote.
Yes.
And I was very disappointed that it was not part of the book of the year finalists, because it should have been. I love that book. But this one, I will, if it is not a book of the month or an Aardvark, I will be buying this book because I love Amelia Hart. But in 2019, and this is a series that goes back years and years and years, Lucy awakens from a dream that she finds her hands around her ex-lover's throat. She is horrified, and she flees to her older sister's house in Australia. I love Australia. Setting in Australia is one of my favorite things. Hoping she can help explain this very strange, vivid nightmare that she has had. But Jesse's nowhere to be found. And then so Lucy awaits her return. And then she finds out that Jesse's strange little small town some things start to emerge here, like, what's going on in this little town? Numerous men have gone missing at sea. It's been spread over decades, so not a lot of attention's been drawn to it immediately. A baby was found hidden in a cave. A sailor tells of hearing women's voices on the waves. Desperate for answers, Lucy finds and begins to read her sister's adolescent diary. And now we're going back 20 years, 1999. Jess is a lonely 16-year-old in a rural town in the middle of a continent. And diagnosed with a rare allergy to water, she has always felt different until her young, charming art teacher takes an interest in her drawings, seeing a power and maturity in them and in her that no one else has. Now we're going to go back a century to 1800. Twin sisters Mary and Eliza have been torn from their loving father in Ireland and forced onto a convict ship bound for Australia. For their entire lives, they feared the ocean, as their mother tragically drowned when they were just little girls. Yet, as the boat bears them further and further as they go from the home they know, they begin to notice changes in their bodies that they cannot explain, and they feel the sea beginning to call to them. So, in Wayward, there was some magical realism going on, and I feel strongly that there's magical realism in this.
I think it's going to be mermaids.
I think so.
Because Sirens, the mermaid myth kind of grew from the Sirens,
yes.
Or they became entangled, I should say.
Yes.
Historically.
So I'm really looking forward to that. I hope one of them carry that.
So next, the Amalfi Curse by Sarah Pinner. Now, Sarah Pinner's first book I really loved. Her second book, The London Seance Society, I was like, oh, that's okay. But I often find that authors, they have books that maybe one is a huge hit with me and the next isn't, and that's a me problem and not a them problem.
Sure.
Like, I think she's a very talented author, period. So this book is about Haven Ambrose, a trailblazing nautical archaeologist, has come to the sun-soaked village of Positano to investigate the mysterious shipwrecks along the Amalfi Coast. But Haven is hoping to find more than old artifacts beneath the azure waters. She is secretly on a quest to locate a trove of priceless gemstones her late father spotted on his final dive. Upon Haven's arrival, strange maelstroms and misfortunes start plaguing the town. Is nature Is it nature or something more sinister at work? As Haven searches for her father's sunken treasure, she begins to unearth a centuries-old tale of ancient sorcery and one woman's quest to save her lover and her village by using the legendary art of Stragera, a magical ability to harness the ocean. Could this magic be behind Pocinato's latest calamities? Haven must unravel the Amalfi Curse before the region is destroyed forever. So I feel like that's 2 in a row that's about potential mermaids. I'm super excited for both of these titles, and I hope that either Book of the Month or Aardvark takes them up.
Yeah, that one, the Amalfi Coast and Positano, that in Italy, I've read several novels based in that area, and so I would like it because, of
Italy.
the area.
Yes.
Italy. It's Italy. Okay, The Bright Years by Sarah Damoff.
Damoff?
And Brian and Lillian Bright, they're deeply in love. They've recently married. They're parents to a little girl named Georgette. Unfortunately, there are secrets in the marriage. Lillian has a son named Ryan that has a son that she's not told Ryan about. And Ryan has an alcohol problem that he's not told Lillian about. And then as they go through and Georgette grows up, she sees this tumultuous marriage, between her mother and father. And so as things gone on, things get fragile with the 3 of them, and she tries to distance herself from her parents. And then years later, Lillian's son, he starts searching for his birth family. And so then that all comes together, and she has to return to her roots, Georgette does, to kind of figure out what is this family's history and decide whether or not she's open enough to love them all just as they are, or what else.
And I think I picked this one because it sounded so interesting about American family and also growing up and realizing that your parents aren't perfect, that they were you at your age trying to figure out how to do life okay.
That's right.
And raise their kids okay. And that's what intrigued me about this one. So that again is The Bright Years by Sarah Damoff, possibly. And we do share all of our book noms in the comments, so please look, and if we do ever mispronounce something, it is there. Click the link and you'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Next I have is Heartwood by Amity Gaige, and this is another author who hasn't been picked by Aardvark or Book of the Month in the past, unlike some of our other choices, but I have gone on this binge about the Appalachian Trail, and this book deals with that. So in the heart of the Maine woods, an experienced Appalachian Trail hiker goes missing. She is a 42-year-old Valerie Gillis who has vanished 200 miles from her final destination. Alone in the wilderness, Valerie pours her thoughts into fractured poetic letters to her mother as she battles the elements and struggles to keep hoping. At the heart of the investigation is Beverly, a determined Maine state game warden, tasked with finding Valerie, who leads the search on the ground. Meanwhile, Lena, a 76-year-old bird watcher in a Connecticut retirement community, becomes an unexpected armchair detective. Roving between these compelling narratives, a puzzle emerges, intensifying the frantic search as Valerie's disappearance may not be accidental. So a lot of things that stuck out to me about this one that I thought it would be a good pick. Probably more for Aardvark because it seems more experimental than maybe what Book of the Month would typically carry.
Right.
But we've got this character who's writing these poetic letters to her mom, which is not usually, a Book of the Month pick. But I think my favorite thing, I love finding books where one of the main characters isn't a 20-something starting her life.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a 20-something starting my life. So the character of Lena, the 76-year-old bird watcher becoming an armchair detective, really made me think, this is the character I want to get to know, because honestly, I want to be her when I grow up.
So then we have Happy Land by Dolen Perkins-Valdez. Nikki hasn't seen her grandmother in years. And so when the elder calls just out of the blue and says, hey, I need you to come and visit me here she lives in western North Carolina. Nikki hesitates for a moment because she's just not sure. But after years of silence in the family, due to some type of mysterious estrangement between the mother and the grandmother, she says, I think I'm going to go find out what's really going on here. So instead of answers about the recent past, Mother Rita tells Nikki an incredible story of a kingdom on this very mountain and her great-great-great-great-grandmother, Luella, who has become its queen. It sounds like the makings of a fairy tale, royalty among a community of freed people. But the more Nikki learns about the kingdom of the Happy Land and the lives of those who dwelled in the ruins she discovers in the woods, the more she realizes how much her identity and her family's secrets are wrapped up in these hills, because this land is their legacy, and it will be up to her to protect it before it, like so much else, is stolen away. So, sounds very interesting.
Yeah. And this is another one. This might actually be a debut. I'm not sure. Happy Land by Dolen Perkins-Valdez. Mm-hmm. It deals with that family trauma. Mm-hmm. It is a newer author, at least to Book of the Month in Aardvark.
Yeah,
and
I've not heard
the cover itself is gorgeous. Mm-hmm. But it is... It's such a great generational story, and I do love those. I feel like you love them more than I do.
Well, yeah, because I am generational.
But I mean, I feel like the older we get, the more we love learning about our family history and understanding where we came from. Oh, you're right.
Man, what a beautiful cover.
Gosh,
I have to show you.
That's gorgeous.
It's a beautiful cover.
But yeah, it's a gorgeous cover. I'm really hoping one of them pick this up.
I do too.
It's gorgeous, and the storyline itself sounds amazing.
Yes.
So that is what we have for you. That's what we're hoping for. And if we get it wrong, if we get it right, whatever.
We're going to have some good books next time.
We're going to have some good books to read.
That's right.
Until then, bye guys.